I just finished Cobra Kai Season 6, Episode 15, and this is probably going to be a bit of a long video. This is my full review of Cobra Kai in total, all seasons, and the final chapter that we just saw. I want to go back to when Cobra Kai was announced on YouTube Red, and then changed to YouTube Premium and all that. I think it was 2017 or 2018, something like that. And man, I remember back then, like nobody knew really what Cobra Kai was, and I was just so excited to make content about it. And when it came out, it did not disappoint. It was probably the best season, in my opinion, at least for all of Cobra Kai. There's nothing really that hits for me like season 1, 2, and 3. Those were like peak amazing. Not that the other ones weren't good, but I feel like, focusing on Johnny and Daniel and then incorporating they didn't have as many characters. I feel like it really just, you are saturated with Johnny and Daniel, and it was great. As time went on, they started to expand the dojo naturally, and we started to focus on the mini stories of each new student: Miguel, Tori, Sam, Robbie, Dimitri, Hawk, and so on, Kenny. And it was really difficult as a writer, I bet, to have to be able to focus on each one of these mini stories in a larger story of the main characters, Johnny and Daniel, and then Kreese and Silver and Chosen and Miyagi in a much larger world that's encapsulating, karate and the valley and more. And so I can't imagine how difficult that must have been. And there were some seasons along the way where I was like, there's just so much to follow and so much going on that I wanted to focus more on Johnny. That for me, that was my favorite. But the way they rounded it out in the end, it couldn't have been better. And for me, it was super emotional watching, because it was just like, you get all of those little nuances. When like you get a sequel to a show or a movie or whatever, and it's really garbage, but they just jangle a couple keys to make you remember, like, oh, I remember when that was good, or I remember that scene, or I remember that character. That happens in this, but it's actually good. Like, it's not shit. So, like, for example, at the end there, where he's like, turn kneel, when Lawrence is fighting Wolf, he's like, turn kneel, and you go to your corner. That was from the first movie. It was from Karate Kid 1. Or when the male guy comes in, he's like, hey, you got a great yard here. From the outside, you never know it. That was a call from Karate Kid 2. There's all these little things that make you remember where you came from, where it all came from, but yet it propels the story further and grows the story in a really beautiful way, where you're not focusing on just the main two guys of Johnny and Daniel and their quarrels or whatever, but you're now focusing on all of the new characters as well, which, again, I feel like must have been really difficult to have to coordinate. It takes a lot of really talented writers. And I interviewed the big three, and I think that they know what they're doing, man. And I think this is really just a testament as to what happens when you actually give a shit about a story and characters, and you're not just doing it for money. So, my hat's off to them. I commend them. I think they've done a fantastic job. The entire cast and crew Cobra Kai has been amazing. And the way they rounded everything out with Johnny at the end, with Kreese, so emotional. I mean, if the guy doesn't win, what is it for shows? Is it Emmy? Doesn't win an Emmy? I'll be surprised. I just think that they understood the heart of the Karate Kid and the heart of these characters, and how they grew them over time so that we would fall in love with them all and be invested in their story. I just think that they did a really great job with that, and they knew what they were doing the whole way. And I think that's pretty cool, because it shows, because I actually care. I'm invested. I remember making all my content on the channel, and I remember talking to you guys about it, and the interviews that it got me with the charity event, and like with literally like the main guys, man. Like that, like I got to talk to Robert Mark Kamen. Like, I mean, it's the journey that this channel has led me on is absolutely beautiful, and I owe that all to these guys who made this thing. It's been a dream to just be able to talk about something else that I love. And you know what? Star Wars isn't going the way I want it to go, but at least Cobra Kai did. At least Karate Kid universe did. And I'm excited to see what they do, because this ain't the end, dude. No. They've talked about wanting to do more stuff, continuing on with the students, right? You got Miguel and Sam going off to Okinawa. Who knows what they're going to find there? And then you got Tori and Robbie now doing their thing. I mean, they could do a whole new show on their adventures. Checking in with Johnny and his new dojo and all that stuff. Johnny going back to Cobra Kai is like the best move that they could have ever done. Him not being in Cobra Kai felt so off for so long. I'm like, Eagle Fang. Oh, dude, he's Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai is Cobra Kai. He's Cobra Kai is Johnny. And how they rounded it out with Kreese and Silver. I mean, shit. Like, that's kind of like, if they're going to go, that's the best way to go. together on a boat in an explosion. Like, that's literally the best way that they're going to go out. As for Daniel and Johnny making amends and understanding that they both have differences and working together, and that whole bit at the end with the fly, I was expecting Daniel to just close it on the fly and, cut to black, end of the show. But the way Johnny came in and just squished it, no mercy. Like, they understand these guys. They understand the characters. They understand the mythos. They understand the universe. I don't think you could have picked better guys for this project. Congratulations to the whole team. Congratulations to everybody. I think they've done a fantastic job with Cobra Kai Season 1 all the way through 6. I'm going to miss this show, dude. I'm going to miss making videos. And I hope you guys don't take the fact that I haven't made videos as much on this channel as any sort of like disrespect to not caring. I've just been so unbelievably busy that I haven't had time to make all the content I want to make about Cobra Kai, but I've still been enjoying it on my own and watching it on my own, and it'll never leave my heart. It's always been a very integral part of my life. Karate Kid and Star Wars and Back to the Future. I'd say those are probably the big three, and of course Dragon Ball. So anyways, I'm excited to see what they do going forwards, because this is not the end, and of course the Karate Kid movie. So we're still going to have lots of time together, but as for Cobra Kai finishing out the show, what a beautiful way to end it. So until we meet again, until there's more Cobra Kai or Karate Kid news or whatever it might be, thanks so much for chilling on the channel. And until I see you soon, no mercy.